Hey, mathematicians, welcome to Hot Topics. We are going to be talking about lines and angles again. So I just want to do a quick refresher on the three types of lines that we talked about last week. So first, before we do that, I want to say we're going to be talking about points as well. So a point is no size or shape, it's just a position. So a point is a position on a line. So the first term I want to talk about is line. It's a straight path from point to point, and it has no beginning or end. It goes on forever in both directions. And there are, a bunch of points that we could go, like point to on the line, but it's going to go on forever in both directions. A line segment is a part of that line, and it has a start point and an end point. So like here, when we're looking at this line segment, it is a part of a line that goes on forever in both directions, but the line segment is just a section of it. And then the last is a ray, and it's a portion of a line which has one end point and extends forever in one direction. So if you're looking here at this line segment AB, if our start point was here at A and then it went on forever, that would be a ray, just like we see here in PQ. So we're going to talk about how you name lines, line segments, and rays this time. And we're also going to talk about how you name angles. So in order to name any line, you're going to have to know 2 points on that line segment, or ray. So this one, we have a point X and a point Y on here. So if we want to call this a line, what we do is we write both points in caps. So X and Y, and then above it, we draw a line, a small line above it. So it's going to be a line with an arrow on each end. So that's the symbol for line. Line segment is just a line segment. Has you can put a dot at the beginning and a dot at the end. But here we have A and B on our line segment. Those are our points. So our point A and point B, our line travels through point A and point B. Our line segment travels through point A and point B. In a ray, the first one is always going to be, the first point listed is always going to be the end point, and then the second point is in the direction of the arrow. So PQ starts at P and goes on forever past Q. So that's our ray. So, for example, this one, we have, it goes on forever in both directions. So since this goes on forever left and forever right, this would be a line. So if we are writing down what this is, we know that it is going to have an arrow on both ends. Now, there are 2 names for this line. We could start at point A and go to point B. So our line would be known as line AB. Or we know that we go on forever in both directions, so we could also call this, we could start on the B side and call this line BA. Now, it's important that you note that we've got an arrow on both sides because it's going to go on forever past B and on forever past A. Here we have a ray. Now, a ray, again, has a point on one end and then a arrow on the other, because it's going to go on forever in just one direction. So we've got our start point and then go on forever. So where does this ray start? It starts here at A and it goes on forever past B. So this ray starts at A and goes past B, and then we draw the ray above our letters. Now, we can't turn this around, because if we say we start at B, it doesn't go on forever past A. So we're just going to draw it this way. So this one only has one name, whereas this line is 2. And the last for AB, on a line segment, we can just draw a line, and if we start at A and B, we know we don't go on forever in both directions. because we have no arrows. So our segment only goes from A, it starts at A and ends at B, or we could say it starts at B if we go right to left and ends at A. Both of these are right names, so you could say either one. Okay, AB, line AB, or line segment AB, or line segment BA. So you need 2 points to name a line segment array. For angles, you need 3. So one is our A or C. These are our start points. B is our midpoint. So where our 2 line segments meet, that's our vertex. Sorry, not our midpoint. That's our vertex. So this is where we see the angle. So in order to name an angle, we have an angle sign. It kind of looks like an L or 2/3 of a triangle, but it looks like a little angle. And then we start at one of our endpoints. So A, so angle A. The second one is always going to be our vertex, so where the 2 lines meet, point B, and then here, C. Now, I started at A, B, C, so I know if I'm drawing my angle, I'd start at A, connect to B, and then connect to C. Well, if I did that backwards, if I start at C, and then went to B, and then went to A, I would still be drawing the same thing. Start here, C, B, A. So these angles all have 2 names, angle ABC or angle CBA. So in order to name any angle, you're just going to look for the 3 points and think in the order that you can connect them. So we can't say BAC because if I connected those in that order, BAC, now I've got a different angle. And this line segment isn't used at all, so I have to stay on my line segment. The last thing I want to talk about today, and I'll talk about this a little bit more in part 3, is measuring angles. So angles are measured in a thing that we call degrees, and we use a protractor a lot of the time to measure that angle. So this angle, you can see here, let me move my protractor. Okay, so we've got an angle that is less than 90 degrees. So right off the bat, we know it's less than 90 degrees because it's an acute angle. And so when we look at our protractor, we've got 2 sets of numbers. So I'll line this up. You want to, this little T part here, some compasses or protractors have a dot. You want to put that right where your 2 lines meet, right at the vertex. So once you put that there, then one of your lines has to line up with your protractor. Okay, so as I get this in position, you're thinking, okay, but how do you tell the angle? Well, I've got 2 sets of numbers, so I know that my first ray here is along the 0. So I'm going to start from that point, and I'm going to go up in the ascending order. So I'm going to start at 0 and then go to 10. I'm not going to start at 180 because if I'm looking at my angle, it's 0. So I'm going to go up all the way until I find my spot and see where it's pointing. Well, when I put it right here on my other line, it's pointing to 70 and 110. Well, I already figured out that this is an acute angle because it looks like it's less than 90 degrees, so it couldn't be 110, it would have to be 70 degrees. So our angle would be 70 degrees is the size of that angle. And again, like if you start here at 180, well, that doesn't look like a 180 degree angle, and you want to make sure you're counting up. So that goes the same way for the other side too. If you're using the other side, like here, our angle is looking like it's more than 90 degrees, so straight up and then straight left. So that means our angle would have to be greater than 90. Now, each one of these little dashes counts for 1 degree. So again, I'm going to look here and I'm going to say, all right, which side, do I start out? If I start here where my line is, the next thing I would start at 0 and go to 10. I wouldn't start at 180. So if I take this all the way around and I follow these numbers on the top, it leads me to be 120, and then over here's 130. So I'm right between them. So that would be 125, or I could count each one of these little things. So my angle would be 125 degrees. So this angle is greater than 90, which means it's obtuse, just like we talked about at the beginning. So angles are measured in degrees, and to name any angle, you need 3 points on that those two lines or line segments where they intersect. And in order to name a line, you only need 2 points. An arrow on both sides means it's a line. A dot on one side and an arrow on the other means a ray, and then just a line on top, maybe put dots on the ends, is a line segment.